This is our third and final day of quadratic formula before we take the test tomorrow. So we're going to step it up one step farther in difficulty. Two things to notice for today's assignment. If you look down at the last problem, the terms are out of order, meaning the ax squared piece does not come first. So when you pick the a, b, and c, you have to be careful. The a is the number that goes with the x squared. So the a is the 0.2. The b is the number that goes with the x. So in this case, the b is the 3.2. And the c is the number that's by itself. In this case, -5. So with that guidance, I'm going to let you finish doing the quadratic formula for that problem, along with the others. I will do one full quadratic formula problem with you. And so I will do the first one, where the equation is not equal to 0, and that's the hint. Make the equation equal to 0 first. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of this 630. What we can do is undo 630 by minusing 630 on both sides of our equation. So that 630 minus 630 would make 0 is equal to. On the left, there is no terms that are empty without an x, so we've got the three types of terms. We've got the a, the 15x squared, the b, the minus 165x, and the c, the minus 630. So a, b, and c. And then we can fill in our quadratic formula. X equals negative b, negative 165, plus or minus square root b squared, minus 4ac, all over 2a. Reminder that negative in the front is just like doing a positive. And then we're going to look at the parts under the square root. We need to calculate negative 165 squared, or that means negative 165 times negative 165. Then we need to multiply negative 4 times 5, 15 times negative 630. The numbers are really large, so I'm not going to read them all out, but just start by rewriting. X equals 165 plus or minus square root, and the denominator all over 2 times 15 is 30. All right, so we do negative 165 squared, or times itself. And then the negative 4 times 15 times another negative is actually a positive 37,800. And continuing our quadratic formula, we need to add these numbers that we see underneath the square root and rewrite it. X equals 165 plus or minus 65,025 all over 30. And then this is where we can break it apart and get two separate answers. Once where we do the 165 plus the square root, then divide by 30. And once where we use minus 165 minus the square root, and then divide by 30. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 165, add the square root of 65025, and get 420, and then divide by 30. So my final answer is 14. The answer of x equals 14 is a solution to this equation, meaning if I plugged 14 back in for x, the output would give me 0, or it would be true. It's also the x-intercept on the graph. And then we'll calculate our second one. So if we do 165 minus the square root, we get negative 90. And then we have to divide by 30, which would be negative 3. If you don't have a calculator where you can do a square root button, you can try a smartphone. Otherwise, go to desmos.com and it will allow you to do those features. And that is spelled desmos.com if you need a calculator. So your job will be to finish these 3 problems still on the worksheet using quadratic formula.